Spare me! You're not being in my sight for a while longer yet. What was in that blasted stew?
Keep your eyes peeled, will you? Ramos the Wanderer promised he'd be here.
She nods an uninterested greeting.
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People are drinking. Eventually there'll be a fight. You planning on starting one? Well, I look forward to beating the shite out of you then. Bye now. Till later.
She nods an uninterested...
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People are drinking. Eventually there'll be a fight. You planning on starting one? Buy me a drink and I'll think about it.
She gives you a long look.
Yeah. Nah. Punch your leg.
She nods an
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People, buy me a drink and I'll think about it. Cheers. Later then.
She doesn't lift her gaze.
Ah, finally! Your colleague over there is absolutely useless. I'll have a bowl of the house stew, if you please.
Oh, pity. I've been trying to get a little something to eat all day. But the giggleheads who run this establishment don't seem to be willing to provide a fellow with his fair portion.
After all I've been through, too.
He lowers his gaze, then looks up at you expectantly. His lip trembles dramatically.
It's my mentor. My dear mentor. He was killed by those void beasts. I told him we ought not to travel in the hills, but would he listen? No. Now here I sit, my closest companion gone, our precious cargo worth more than Lucian's right ring, lost to the beast-infested wilds. And the waiter won't even bring me any stew. Ah, then perhaps my luck has changed. Yes, perhaps this awful business might soon be behind me.
Tell me, how are you with, well, Void Woken? Ah, terrific news. Then what I ask will be little more than a trifling. My mentor, Liam, and I were hauling in a goodly number of fine wares from the Southlands when we crossed paths with a great brute of a Void Woken.
It made short work of Liam, may the gods rest his soul. I managed to escape, but my precious cargo was left behind. We'd invested our entire livelihood in those wares. I'll do anything to get them back. My lucky stars. You must have been sent from on high.
And don't worry, I'll make it very worth your while. This I promise, on my honour.
Pipe down, will you?
Weep, my friends, for Alexander the Innocent. Killed by sorcerers, a most vile incident. A valiant warrior against the void. Taken too early, all hope destroyed. The path thus ended, the conclusion of a noble bloodline. Who shall rise? Who gains the title most divine? We wait, we wander and wonder, seeking signs from the gods. May the seven usher us to paradise against all the odds.
Now, give me your map. I'll show you just where to look. I doubt those beasts out there have any use of such a cargo. I can't tell you how thoroughly you've made my day. Good luck.
For Alexander
or drink
the
or
Innocent, killed by sorcerers.
Not right
a most vile incident.
The Majesty's caging anyone up that
A
looks
valiant warrior.
Voice, that glorious visage. You are fair, elf, but Barstan's allure is unsurpassed. Such a face could only be sculpted by the hands of a god.
Who shall rise? Who gains the title?
I'll
most
take your
divine?
order if you're polite.
Real good, ain't he? Bet he'd even write a poem for you if you sidled up all nice like.
Paradise against all the odds.
That divine voice, that idyllic poetry. I could lose myself in Barstan's cinnamon eyes.
Weep, my friends, for Alexander the Innocent, killed by sorcerers, a most vile incident. A valiant warrior against the void. Taken too early, all hope destroyed. The path thus
I doubt a reptile could appreciate the beauty of Barstan's gentle melodies. I consider myself fortunate to be carried to paradise by his silken voice.
we wait, we wander and wonder, seeking signs from the gods. May the seven usher us to paradise against all the odds.
This word.
You have interrupted my newest masterpiece!
The bard clears his throat and gargles on his own saliva. He then returns to his poem, but his voice cracks mid-verse.
Well, never you mind. Every sonnet I compose is a masterpiece, and my muse has been begging me to write something new. Wait! You might be just the stimulus I needed. I shall craft a rhyme for you and your race. All I ask in return is a handful of coins. It's an offer of a lifetime. Normally I'd argue with you, but you do have a certain look about you. Very well. But if I am to write a first-rate work, you must face some difficult questions. Are you prepared to answer?
He stares at you for a few torturing moments.
My first question. Are you hungry? Actually, that's not quite what I mean. But you eat flesh. When you look at me, what do you see? A dwarf? A bard? A meal?
He smiles a crooked smile and runs a hand through his greasy hair.
An elf craves those memories like an addict craves Drudenay. A pity that you turn to the dead for emotional sustenance. Would you not rather form bonds with the living? I suspect you collect memories not for knowledge, but from fear. Your homeland fell to the ravages of war and death fog. You worry of more loss, more loneliness. Tell me, elf, are you afraid?
The bard hems and haws, then bellows his next words to anyone who might hear.
To all lovers of verse, I bring glorious news. I have completed another modern classic. Listen now. Hunger gnaws at elves, a driving lust. They hunt and wander, seeking rotting flesh.
The smaller good if it bit you on the
First a
arse.
taste, a morsel, then the meal. Yet, never sated, start their search afresh. A wealth of knowledge, not of shiny trinkets. They know the past, so future may be bright. But threatened by the void, they rise together, chasing off the darkness with the light. A hunger gnaws at elves, a driving lust. They hunt and wander, seeking rotting flesh. First a taste, a morsel, then the meal. Yet, never sated, start their search afresh. A wealth of knowledge, not of shiny trinkets. They know the past, so future may be bright. But threatened by the void, they rise together, chasing off the darkness with the light.
You know even a smaller good if it bit you on the arse.
You must be delighted by my newest ode. Oh, soon, bards throughout Riverlon will sing it.
Yeah? You're good with the magisters caging anyone up that looks at them funny.
Fame, notoriety, neither, or both. The thing about a good verse is that it wiggles into the ear. People think it's just a catchy rhyme, but it changes minds and hearts, for good and for ill.
He fixes you with a stare, looks you up and down, weighs you up, the cut of your cloth, the weight of your bag. A moment passes. Then a smile creases his face, a smile carefully constructed to look friendly and authentic, a smile that doesn't reach his eyes.
Greetings, stranger. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are ordered at the bar, but can I interest you in a nourishing bowl of stew?
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you.
Yet, never sated, start their search afresh. A wealth of knowledge, not of shiny trinkets. They know the past, so future may be bright. But threatened by the void, they rise together, chasing off the darkness with the light.
A lascivious smile spreads across his face. His tongue darts from his mouth to lick the spittle from his lips.
Let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others for their exquisite love-making abilities? Well, I'm sure that in your own case that sentiment is almost true. But no, let me tell you the truth of the matter. My friend, the very best lovers are, whisper it, lizards. And for a barely significant sum of gold, I can introduce you to the greatest lizard lover the world has ever seen. Well, this is what's available. Take it or leave it. And I suggest you take it. It's better to regret something you did than something you didn't do, am I right?
He holds out his hand. The money vanishes into his apron.
Now, let me ask you this. What flavour of stew do you prefer? Do you like the strong and meaty variety? Or do you prefer it delicate and fragrant, if you get my meaning? Upstairs, on the second floor. Her name is Zara. Pleasure is her business. Enjoy the experience of a lifetime.
He gives you a mischievous grin, then dips his head in salute and turns away.
A hunger gnaws at elves, a driving lust.
Yeah? You're good with the Magisters caging anyone up that looks at them
wonder,
funny.
seeking rotting flesh.
Arguing with Mac is like giving medicine to the dead. He's as stubborn as a corpse and smells the part to boot. No wonder Papa Thrash gives him the stink any time he tries to go downstairs.
I'll take your order, if you're
A wealth
polite.
of knowledge, not of shiny trinkets.
Ah.
They know the past, so future may be bright. But
Another sorcerer on the loose. I knew they should have cut off the Meister's head and burned the rest. Gotta make sure it don't grow back. I'm telling you, if they got nothing to hide, they got nothing to be scared of.
a hunger
Yeah?
gnaws
You're
at
good with the
elves,
Magisters
a
caging anyone up
driving
that looks
lust.
at them funny.
They hunt
Damn
and
right.
wander,
I got a right to
seeking
live.
rotting
Throw
flesh.
'em in a hole for all.
First a
It's the
taste,
great
a morsel, then the meal.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard?
Shame it is.
Then you're an idiot.
An absolute shame.
Alexander, slaughtered like a supper lamb. Poor dear.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Never thought I'd say this. But I hope they round up them sorcerers for good. I ain't needing one sick and a void woken on me.
You said it, Hilga. You're a true patriot.
To Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard?
Do you hear it?
The town is poor, but this room
You've got a
is
pick who you can trust.
rich.
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself.
And I'm saying, you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. And I without my compass. The ship is in the locker, on the bottom in the rocky shallows, and all are drowned but me.
Curiosity kills the
And yet,
cat, or gets it
can you
sent to
hear?
Fort Joy.
The bell rings on. The bell haunts me yet, and it would drive me mad.
For one night with a lizard.
Perhaps I am already mad. But I swear I hear the bells. Please, make it stop.
She buries her head in her hands and cries.
Make it stop. Who rings the bell?
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
You've got a pick who you can trust.
You're willing to
You
risk
got that
Fort
right,
Joy
Hilda.
for one night
You
with a
got that
lizard?
right.
Then
And
you're
I'm
an
saying,
idiot.
you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
What do you want, tree stock?
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilga.
Huh. I want another beer and a bowl of stew.
Which of us is more likely to get what they want, do you think?
The bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Guess that makes me a sinner. Perhaps you can help us settle an argument. Thatcher here is one of my dearest friends, but she isn't the brightest.
Thatcher grins hello.
Our mate Boris got posted to Fort Joy for consorting with lizards. And Thatcher here still fancies a turn around the park with Loverick's lizard. I say she'd be sleeping with the enemy. What say you?
I can see a sorcerer.
They look at you expectantly.
And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
All right about that. Right as rain, you.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Thatcher bursts out laughing. Eden goes bright red.
Get lost before I throw you in a cell for disrespecting a magister. Two magisters. The magisters.
Thatcher doesn't look disrespected. Thatcher looks amused.
And I'm saying...
Disrespecting one magister's enough. Go on, get lost.
And you can't be too careful.
She turns back to her drink.
If they can get Alexander, they can any of us.
You're right about that.
Of course
Right
it's
as
not
rain,
true.
you.
She tips you a wink, then turns away. Eden looks victorious. Thatcher looks unconvinced.
See? I told you.
Thatcher shrugs.
All right, move along there. You may be wiser than you look, but you're of no more use to me.
She turns back to her drink.
You've got a pick who you can trust.
Thatcher bursts out laughing. Eden goes bright red.
Get lost.
Thatcher doesn't look
disrespecting.
She turns back.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying, you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer right well. And you can't be too careful, you can get Alexander.
Who rings the bell?
Right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Of course it's not true.
The chest won't open.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
You got that right, Hilka.
Who rings the bell?
The chest still won't open.
Speak the word, and I shall open.
Of course it's not true.
Speak the word, the magic word, and I shall open. No. I did not understand. Do you want a buffalo? Is your buffalo unwell? No. No. Still no. I am already closed. I am a chest. Yes, you could. Do not profane. Speak the word, and I shall open. This seems likely an excellent choice.
The chest still won't open.
An excellent...
The bell still rings. Do you hear
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Weathered and rugged, the man sleeps soundly. He mumbles in his slumber.
Mother, I have no words for that. Huh? What?
He wakes.
See.
He settles back to sleep. He snorts.
Mother, it's so obvious. Speak the word, and I shall open.
Then goes back to sleep. The chest sits there, refusing to open.
What kind of idiot uses magic word as their magic word? You speak the word. I open. For your safety, please stand back.
The lock unlocks with the tiniest click.
Who rings the bell?
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. You've got to pick who you can trust. Of course it's not true.
You got that right, Hilga. You got that right.
Smile all you want. And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilga.
What the devil are you staring at?
Of course it's not true.
Seems less lush somehow.
I'm not in love
Turn
with
your
you.
eyes on my treasures, not my person.
Yes, my lord.
Hilga jabbers excitedly with Brax, but the two go quiet as you approach. Hilga jabbers.
What the devil are you staring at?
Your beard, my lord. He seems less lush somehow.
Of course it's not true.
It's as lush as it's always been. Now train your eyes on my treasures,
Smile
not my
all you
person.
want. I'm not in love with you.
Yes, my lord.
Hilga jabbers
Of course it's not true.
Here now, when one's in a small town, one must expect small town manners, I see. Have you a reason for barging into my room, sir? No harm done, I suppose. Though why I pay good money for these so-called bodyguards is another question entirely. Still, I may as well introduce myself. Baron Levere, at your service. I'm a wealthy man, and wealthy men need protection, especially if they accompany their wealth. The merchant's burden, you see. He must escort his merchandise, always.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
You're right about that.
Of course it's not
Right as
true.
rain, Hilka.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Travels, you say? And why would you assume I'm a traveling man?
He laughs heartily.
Of all things, I wouldn't have thought my cloak would give me away, but you're quite right, of course. I am travelling, yes, to Arx. Lucian's Day will be upon us soon, a celebration no man with a heart that is both as pious and mercantile as mine should miss. I go because it is every citizen's duty, our communal obligation to chant the rites of the return and pray for Lucian's divine resurrection. That said, I do have more secular motivations as well. Arx positively overflows with pilgrims during the festival, pilgrims and their purses. As a merchant, it is quite my favorite day of the year. Music to my ears. A happy accident. If there's anything else you need, know you're always welcome.
Better watch yourself, lad. Got greedy eyes on you. Sets me on edge. Doesn't this room strike you as eerie? There's a chill in the air, a deeper darkness in the shadows. But, of course, I should hold my tongue and stand guard. All's well as long as my lord's coffers are safe.
Careful now. That's a trap.
Of course it's not true.
I'm not in love with you. not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love.
A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a sultry look, and when she speaks, it's like listening to honeyed smoke.
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to water my flowers? I've been so lonely since my man went away to fight the coming war. I need someone to take care of me. You're so masculine, darling. Won't you take care of me? Come on over here, big boy, and I'll tell you.
She bats her eyelashes.
What I'm thinking.
Holding your gaze, a shadow of a smile playing on her lips, she reaches for the clasp of her robe. You reach her, and she unfastens it. Then, quite deliberately, she lets it fall.
Oops. Take me.
She smiles, takes you by one manicured hand. With the other, she strokes your cheek, traces a line down your neck to your collarbone and your clothes. Slowly, she undresses you, then takes you to bed. Your world explodes in ecstasy.
Good morning, lovebirds.
Good morning, Gil. Hey, this is my lover. Lover, this is my friend Gil.
Shut it, Longbow.
I'm sorry, darling. It's a setup. You paid for a trip to paradise. Now you're paying for the return journey.
So we're taking all your stuff. If you want it back, you can take it up with Lohar. Reckon that's for you to figure out.
course it's not true. Nora now.
You've got to pick it to trust.
A lizard, tall and...
I'm so glad...
She turns her back. A lizard, tall and beautiful.
I'm so glad you came. But your friends will have to leave.
She turns her back. A lizard, tall...
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to...
She purses her lips. Tuts. Tut, tut, tut.
Not so fast, hotshot. These things take time. If you're not in the mood for games, would you like me to dance for you? Or would you like to hear a poem? All right, darling.
She closes her eyes. She's motionless for a moment, as if listening for music that only she can hear. And then, almost imperceptibly at first, her hips begin to sway, as she finds the rhythm of the song that only she can hear. But as she sways and moves with elegance and grace, at once beguiling and raw with pure emotion, you realize you hear the music too. She spins into you, her arms around you, her breath upon you, her rough skin on yours. She laughs and leads you to the bed, tearing at your clothes. The bed receives you both. You realize that you are naked, and so is she. She searches your face for the lie, doesn't find it. The compliment touches her. She smiles, reaches for you. She takes you into her arms, into her heart, into her very being. Your world explodes in bliss.
Good morning, lovebirds.
Good morning, Gil. Hey, this is my lover. Lover, this is my friend Gil. I'm sorry, darling. It's a setup. You paid for a trip to paradise. Now you're paying for the return journey.
To wit, we're taking all your stuff. If you want it back, you can take it up with Lohar. We thank you for your cooperation. Be seeing you next time, Z.
Bye, Gil. Oh, look at you, lover. You're like a baby deer who's lost its mum. Are you going to be predictable now and try to kill me?
She smiles.
It was worth it, wasn't it? Now, baby, it's time for you to leave.
She thinks for a moment.
Do I want to go again? Do you know, lover, I do want to go again. Come here.
You fall into each other's arms once more. The world explodes. in pleasure. She sleeps deeply, her breathing soft and regular, the hint of a smile on her lips.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying, you can trust me. I can
Of
see a
course
sorcerer
it's not
from a
true.
mile away. And you can't be too careful.
Smile all you want.
If I can get
I'm not in love with you.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
You've got a pick and you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying, you can trust me.
Of
I can
course
see a
it's not
sorcerer from
true.
a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If I can get Alexander...
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The bell
You're
still
right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
Of course it's not
The
true.
bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with
She
you.
babbles breathlessly on, barely aware.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
You've got a pick and you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying, you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer
Of
from
course
a mile
it's not
away.
true.
Who rings the bell?
And you can't be too careful.
Smile all you
know?
want.
If I
I'm
can
not
get
in love with you.
Alexander, then get any of this.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
The bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
You've got a pick and you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And
Of
I'm
course
saying,
it's not true.
Do you hear it? Do
I
you
can
hear
see
it?
a sorcerer from a mile away.
Smile
And
all
you can't
you
be too
want.
careful.
I'm not
you
in
know?
love with you.
If I can get Alexander, then get any of this.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Who rings the bell? The bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilga. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander,
All right about that.
Of
right
course
as
it's
radio.
not true.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Now is not the time for a bath.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
You got that right, Hilga. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
Right as radio.
Of course it's not true.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
The bell still rings. Do you hear it?
You're
Do
right
you
about
hear
that.
it?
Right as rain, Hilga.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. The bell
Of course
still
it's
rings.
not true.
Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka.
The bell rings a
You got
warning
that
and the
right.
tide is on the turn.
And I'm saying you can trust
Of course
me.
it's not
I can
true.
see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't
Smile
be
all
too
you
careful,
want.
you know.
I'm not in love
if
with
they
you.
can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself and...
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. And I without my compass.
And I'm true. You can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
A weathered woman in a dirty sea...
The bell rings a warning and the...
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
A weathered woman in a dirty...
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
He gives you his mischievous grin.
I did promise you the experience of a lifetime. That's the spirit.
He bows his head in salute and gets back to work.
Good day to you. Hello to you.
Caging anyone up that looks at them funny. And you can't be too careful, you know. If they can get Alexander.
Go ahead.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
Of course it's not true.
He sighs, rather dramatically.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Oh, perhaps that's because I don't quite enjoy broaching the subject. Thank you. But I suppose you've earned the right to know. The long and short of it is that I was banished because I was found in bed with a demon.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Because I invited her in, of course. How else? You clearly have a hard time understanding all this, so let me paint you a picture. I am a prince of the House of War. There are others with that title, but none of them are the Red Prince.
the jewel in the crown of the Empire. I lived in the Forbidden City, a vast complex of palaces that houses the royal family and its servants. No others are allowed to enter it. As for myself, I was never allowed out. That is the price I paid for my genius. I was too valuable to be exposed to the dangers of the outside world. All the wars I won, and I won them all, of course, I won from the comfort of sofas. Bring me information, and I will deduct, then instruct. From amid the ultimate opulence of my quarters, I expanded and very much ruled the Empire. I had it all, and frankly, I got bored.
And you can't be too careful, you know? If I can get Alexander, I can get any of us.
Exactly. I did not suffer the boredom of some spoiled brat. Mine was the absolute absence of challenge, the longing not simply to watch the horizon, but to journey towards it. If I could not experience the joys of the world beyond, I had to bring the world to me. Miraculous what a sorcerer can do with a little arcane lore. I summoned demons, the most dangerous game in the world. But they knew they met their match in me, and so we conversed. We drank wine, we played chess.
Of course it's not true.
Converse with demons and you learn of the shadows behind creation. Drink wine with them and you have visions of worlds beyond worlds. Play chess and you know that one wrong move is certain death. My mind rejoiced. Now for the body, I reasoned, so with a certain succubus I spent nights that would surpass your understanding.
And I'm saying, you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful.
So you do comprehend.
Get Alexander and get any of us.
I spent a whole year in the company of demons, every night atop the white library tower of my palace. It was my great study of existence. It was my supreme joy, even if... Yes, even if it led to my downfall. What happened next was simply unforeseen. One moonless night, the succubus that was my lover turned to me, fangs exposed. But I could tell from the glint in her eyes she wasn't bent on our usual fang play. There was no light in that glint. It was the darkness of the void, the wet darkness of spilt blood. And in short, I was afraid. I tried to move away, but it was too late. She was upon me. She had done it. She had outmaneuvered the Red Prince. Finally, I was vanquished.
Of course it's not true.
Right as rain, Hugo.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
How witty. Perhaps if I had a moustache to twirl, but... No, you can rest assured I'm quite unique. Of course, there's... No, but never mind that now. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the succubus. She went for my neck, quick as a charging cobra, but then suddenly it's as if time ground to a halt. Something deep inside me welled up, a power I never knew I had. She simply froze under my stare. Then she screamed. A scream so abhorrent its ripples caused birds to fall dead from the sky. People covered their ears in vain as they went insane.
You got that right, Hugo. You
The Imperial Guard forced itself into my chambers and found me with the succubus still on top of me.
I can see a sorcerer from a mile.
I believe the phrase is caught
Be
red-handed.
careful, you know. If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilga.
The bell rings a warning.
At first, I admit it was all rather tiring. I was, after all, marched out of my own empire, and I've been hounded by the odd assassin ever since.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
After that came the indignity of the collar and incarceration. But ever since we decided to be so bold as to bid our farewell to Fort Joy by any means, it's all been rather fun. Oh, I could complain about the food and the lodgings and the sheer barbarity of the common folk, but in truth, all of that fits within the larger frame that is adventure. Adventure is precisely what my life was missing. I told you earlier I could tell you tales about what it was like to be a prince of the house. Tales that would last us 1,000 nights. That is true. But I'd much rather speak of the tale we are shaping now.
You can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know. If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
Yes, as long as that road eventually leads all the way back to my throne, that is.
Of course it's not true.
Just when I think this land holds no more surprises, I find myself in some place even more dismal than the last. Still, at least this is an interesting variation on dismal.
Come on, let's keep moving. What, this old gaggle of weirdos?
Who rings the bell?
Of course it's not true. Smile all you
Oh, she's all right. A lot of bark, but I think she really cares about what we're doing. Better that than a sweetheart who'd sooner watch you walk off a cliff than shout, "Look out!"
I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
My kind of salty old crank. She certainly seems to want to help us. You don't get many of those in life. I've learned to appreciate them where I find them. I don't know about home, but I do sort of miss the gang I travel with now and then. Crawler, Madcap, Papa Joris for sure. Musicians mostly. We all had our own stories, our own troubles, but when we were together and the music was with us, it was like none of that mattered at all. When you have people like that around you, you know, a family, even rain feels like sunshine.
He gives you his mischievous grin.
I did promise you the experience of a lifetime. That's not how it works, my friend. You had the time of your life and then you got robbed. Deal with it.
He gives you a look, searching to see if you mean it. Seems to decide that you do.
They have me over a barrel. They do. I don't have a choice. It's hard enough to earn a crust around here, and me and the young'un, we've been starving. Oh, sir, the little un was left with me when my wife died. She won't make it without me, the poor child. Livy, the child's name is Livy. She stays in the kitchen while I work. Go look, I swear it's true. But they'll kill me. And if I'm dead, who will look after the child?
Relief floods his face.
Thank you. Thank you for your mercy. Livy's life depends on it. Now, I'll get back to work, if you don't mind. I'll keep my head down and my nose clean.
He dips his head in acknowledgement and thanks.
Hold it. Papa no, you no go.
He grins, unpleasantly.
Moha didn't tell me to let anyone of your description in, so why should I?
If you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to be scared of.
The Magister's caging anyone up that looks at him.
Damn right. I got a right to live, don't I? Throw him in a hole for all I care. It's the great good.
I don't think you'd know even a smaller good if it bit you on the arse.
Dear
Lucian, be glad you don't have to witness this sudden ill.
Hey, Rudy, Nova.
Tell him, if you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to be scared of.
Yeah? You're good with the Magister's caging anyone up that looks at him funny.
See the cook for stew, friendo.
It's already mad as a bag of cats down there, and I've no intention of flinging another mangy yowler in there. Scoot! Hey, back away from the stairs or you'll find out exactly... Cute. Sounds something like my 15-year-old daughter would try. No go. But I'll certainly remember your face now.
You can't buy my friendship. But you can buy 10 seconds of me eyeballs examining the ground for, well, let's say, a small fortune. You look like you'd be good for it.
He pockets the coin and gazes dramatically at the ground mere inches from your feet.
What's this? I found something.
Look at that. A fresh face. Lean and lovely. Like any true elf. Welcome be, Governor. Take a load off and enjoy Effie's plunder down under. Good to meet you, Governor. What's your poison, then? A sip or a smoke? Take all the time you need. Pleasure doing business with you, Governor. Aye, so it is. But not just any Druidnay. Oh no. My own special blends. Further down's the arena, see? And the gladiators are always on the lookout for an edge. I give them that edge. You could say that my darling herbs flower in the flesh and blossom in the brain. So, if you're interested, Governor, all you have to do is use your imagination. How can I make you bloom?
My good sir, I see that you accompany no other than His Royal Majesty, the Red Prince. I have a message for him of quite vital importance. If you...
Of course he'll be so kind. Speak freely, kinsman.
That's the spot.
Directions, my lord. I was bid to send you to none other than Bramos the Wanderer. He was waiting for you here, my prince. But...
He looks around the hazy room with hasted eyes.
The House of Shadows stirs. The Honorable Bramos sensed them closing in. He had no choice but to flee from Driftwood.
A little ways east he went, in search of safety, to an encampment of paladins. You will find him there, Majesty. And with that, I have told my tale.
Indeed I am. We will follow your directions. You have my thanks, kinsman.
Prince of Princes, I am humbled and grateful.
He bows deeply before the Red Prince, as reverently as one would before a god.
Hail, darling. Call me Dorothea.
She draws close. You feel her breath on your neck, hot, moist.
Oh, yes. I have something that you want. But I only bargain with those I deem deserving. Those who have accomplished great things. So, tell me, are you worthy of my gift? If you swam your way here, I might consider that a notable triumph. But honey, I know you didn't swim. You'll have to give me something more impressive than that. Surely you've accomplished something of note. Indeed. This is acceptable. You are nearer the one than most self-described heroes I've known. So, tell me, are you ready for me to grant you your greatest desire? Oh, make no mistake. Your body would be to my taste. But I am interested in probing deeper. You have a need. To expose it, look into my ring and tell me what you see there. Gaze into the gem, my lovely.
She flashes her ring at you, and you stare at the luminescent stone at its center. You are floating on a current of pure source, surrounded by a kaleidoscope of colors and fuzzy images. On the horizon looms a dark silhouette. As you approach, a beam of light washes the shadow away, revealing to you
I see you clearly now. It is knowledge you crave. You want scholars to bow in your presence, begging for truth in an age of lies. I will fulfill this desire. In return, I ask for one thing in return. A kiss.
Dorothea sighs, a fusion of a kitten's purr and a cockroach's clacking.
For me to help you, our souls must touch. And a kiss brings our souls closer, does it not? It shall fulfill both your desire and mine. Most delicious. Meet me around the corner, and come alone. An audience is not required.
Are you? Are you? No, you aren't. Are you? No. Are you? No. Are you? No.
What?
Watch him fight. Watch him. See that? Right in the kisser. Doesn't. The Seven protect you.
What do you want? Boss is busy. Good. Boss could use some good news. Listen up. Don't waste his time. These are explosive times. Be respectful. I brought you up from girl to woman, Marla. Like you was my own. This...
He lifts his right arm, showing a white bandage beneath his ribs. A wet red spot shows through.
This ain't the thanks I expected. Who sent you?
The formidable dwarf slams his fist on the side table. You hear a loud crack.
Enough! Do you know they killed Anhar? Do ya? Start talking sense or I'll take that tongue right out of your mouth and fry it for supper. Bart, Cade, get her to talk or bleed her out. She ain't one of mine anymore.
His sneer travels from the restrained dwarf to you.
And you. You better have a damn good reason for coming here.
Come, sister. What did you think was gonna happen?
The battered dwarf pulls her lips back into a garish, open-mouthed grin, flashing blood-stained teeth.
Leave me be, elf. This traitor needs my...
Step off, lest you want to...
Brave lad. All sitting here now.
Come, sister. What did you think was gonna happen?
I hope for your sake you've got good news for me. You came into my house, bub, not the other way around.
He winces loudly and holds a hand to the bandage on his side. The large red spot in its center has grown larger and wetter.
Tell the truth now. Who was it that sent you?
Family dispute. Lucky for me, she caught an old wound. Scar slowed down the knife. So, how'd you make it out of Fort Joy? Why not? I love a good story. Here's one I heard lately. A group of strangers landed on the beaches outside town. Meister Seaver's people. You one of her little seekers? Chasing down Godwoken and begging them to save us all? So? What do you want?
We ain't gonna keep you around much longer.
Reckon I do. Knowing Siva, she sent you looking for sorcerers, I bet. I could help you, but last I heard you was working for the Magisters. Big shots at the boats. Now, why in the name of all the hurts would I help a worm like that?
Tell the truth now. Who was he that sent you?
An unpleasant smirk twitches around the corners of his mouth.
Right. I reckon I could help you out, depending on what you can do for me.
I heard rumour Mortis is working for the Order. What's that?
He gestures towards the bandage across his side.
Had a bit of family trouble lately. My girl Marla got it in her head to come after me with a short blade. That ain't like Marla. Ain't like her to pull the silent treatment either. Something's going on. And wouldn't you know it, that blade she used wasn't any normal bit of steel. Belonged to another of my people. Guy's name is Mordus. Bit of a loner, but smart as hell. I sent a few guys to go check on him, see if he knew what had got into Marla, but no one can find him. I'd like a word with the guy.
Tell the truth now. Who was he that sent you?
Glad you see it that way. No one's seen him in a good few. I've got some people checking out his house near the tavern now, though. Tell them I sent you, and they'll let you know what they've found. Truth is, they might be glad to see you. Reckon a sorcerer will have better luck finding one of their own. Well, like I said, Mordus is a special guy. A sorcerer, matter of fact. Maybe even one of the ones Siva's after. If there's something you want to find out from him, you might want to ask before I have my word with him. Here, you can take this off my hands. More suited to your kind, really. Good luck. Better get out there before Mordus makes it all the way past Arks. All right? I needed a laugh. Sorry, bub. That's the price of a night with Big Zed.
Tell the truth now. Who was he that sent you?
I don't make exceptions. Don't insult me. I wouldn't expose my people like that.
Who was he that sent you?
But if you find out who did it, shake their hand for me. That's right. Lost one of my best lads, Anhar. Didn't get Jalia's body back, though. Maybe one of them beasts took her like they did the sorcerers.
Mortis is working for the Order. What say you?
That's... well, I reckon that's good news. Poor thing. She'll be back in time. She and Anhar were sweethearts. We will, once the Reds turn down the alarm a bit. They're jumpy as all hell for the moment. Won't do anyone any good to raise a ruckus now. Whatever needs doing. Isn't that obvious?
You're making this much harder than it needs to be. Come, sister. What did you think was gonna happen? I heard rumour Mordus is working for the Order. What say you? Tell the truth now. Who was it that sent you?
I almost feel bad for you. Almost. You're one of us. How could you do it? Working for the DO, I bet.
Did you know our arena champion's a bloody cheat, stranger? Murga tripped me and bit off my earlobe before the fight had even started.
Watch out for Murga, stranger. She's a formidable fighter, our dear arena champion, and not one to suffer fools lately.
Is there a void woken down there? Must be one strong force field keeping it inside.
In the shadows, a dwarven woman spits obscenities down upon a caged void-woken. She exudes a powerful air of menace and an even more powerful odor of old sweat and dried blood. She spies you and glowers.
More fodder for the arena. Let Murga the champion test how good your reflexes are.
Curling her torn lip back over broken teeth, she grabs your hand and pulls you down to the ale-soaked table. Never losing eye contact, she begins arm wrestling you.
Your science won't help you here. In the arena, you must be willing to suffer if you want to achieve greatness.
She glimmers in and out of view, merging with the shadows. Crowing, she slams your hand down into the table, hard enough to draw blood.
I bested that void-woken below us, you know. Dragged that scaly lump down there with my own 2 hands. So, since you can't hope to beat me, what is it you want down here? Ah, based on your performance so far, that's cute. But I shouldn't judge your baby steps. The lion judges not the pussycat, eh? Liar! Go talk to the raucous one. Tell him I sent you, and he'll set you up for a challenge.
She glimmers in and out.
I bested that void-woken below us. Based on your performance so far, that's cute. But I shouldn't judge your baby steps. Cute takes a whole lot more oomph to get a rise out of me.
She glimmers.
I bested that. Based on your performance so cute. Then I'll knock your teeth out.
She glimmers in.
I bested that based on your performance so far, that's cute. but I shouldn't judge you. Cute. Takes a whole lot more oomph to get a rise out of me, though.
She glimmers in and out of view, merging with the shadows. Crowing, she slams your hand down into the table, hard enough to draw blood.
You need to practice more, dear. Try some pull-ups. I bested that Voidwoken below. Ah! Based on your performance so far, that's cute. But I shouldn't judge your baby steps. The lion judges not the pussycat, eh? Get a few bruises on your face, and then we'll talk.
Who in their right mind would keep a Voidwoken locked up like this? Who in their right mind would keep a Voidwoken?
Her lips pout, but otherwise her face is steel.
I waited, yet you never appeared. I hope you have not changed your mind. I am most keen to satisfy you. As you wish. I will await you. Come al...
Dorothea sees you and heaves a shuddering sigh. She bites into her lower lip with enough force that a drop of blood seeps out. Blood and something else. Something green.
Darling, I admit I wish we could share more carnal pleasures. Yet I think a kiss is the height of intimacy. Now come closer and receive your soul's desire.
You draw closer and close your eyes, eager to feel her lips on yours. Yet her lips do not press against yours, and her hands do not caress your face. She is a woman no longer, but a were-spider. Her fang painlessly sinks into your neck. You still hear her words, though they sound muffled, as if filtered through a glass wall.
The knowledge you needed is now yours. My venom penetrates your mind. and lifts your senses. We part ways now. I'll remember this moment. Oh, honey, you look so nonplussed. It was just a nibble, not a mist of death fog.
She kisses her forefinger, then presses it against your forehead.
Now go.
One of us. How could you do it?
I heard rumour Mortis is working for the Order. What say you?
The battered dwarf pulls her lips back into a garish, open-mouthed grin, flashing blood-stained teeth.
What did you think was gonna happen?
I almost feel bad for you. I almost feel bad for you. Almost. I almost feel bad for you. Almost.
Tell the truth now. Who was it that sent you? I heard rumour Mortis is working for the Order. What say you?
What's got into you?